It is not the name on your badge. It is not the title on your job description or on the backside of your business card that makes you who you are. That's not what makes you a leader. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. I've posted a little bit of a quote from an article on today's LinkedIn Daily Rundown. And the title of the article says, people who do the old job switcheroo seem to be making more money. In fact, 5.3% more money if you change jobs and then change jobs and then change jobs, especially if you're in IT or the technical world and in construction. Now, there's a little bit of an unnervingness to that for me. As a leader, as someone who's managed people, the high number of turnover of employees, that's a little bit disconcerting because it asks the question, what about loyalty? Now, I understand and I agree 100%. I've been in that process in earlier years of the corporate layoffs. You know, we need to manage budget, we'll let go of the expensive people. Oh, we need to hire back as contractors because we can't work without them, but we can eliminate their contract really easily, so we'll just let them go again. And it's obvious that in today's economy, even the last couple of decades, there has been less and less loyalty from a company to an employee. That's why there are so many people who live on pensions, and even those, I'm trying to remember the name of the big company, it was, can't remember, just recently decided that their pensioners, the people who are living on their pension after having dedicated 20 or 30 years to the company, are suddenly not going to get their life insurance paid for that they had been receiving for decades. So the company loyalty is not there the way that we would like it to be, but it seems now that the lack of loyalty, the more transient you are as an employee, the better opportunity there is to generate income, and that's a scary thing to me because it's really hard to count on people after you've invested your time in training them and mentoring them and raising them up to be supervisors and leaders and eventually to run companies, to see them have the mindset and be told, you'll make more money if you jump to another company. Get all you can from this company, take, and then jump. In fact, take, and then go become a competitor. Get all the insight and the wisdom that you can and then go start your own thing. That seems to be the thing of today's culture. So here's our real question today, though, and that is, if you're a leader in that environment, how do you stay relevant as a leader? I think the first part of that, and the book is Attitude Hack, I'm still working on it, but I was working yesterday on a section called The Attitude of Identity. And in the Attitude of Identity, our first premise is understanding you don't get your identity from your name tag. You don't get your identity from your business card and the logo that you put on there. How do we know that? Because there are a lot of people who have president and CEO on their business card and they're the only one at the company. What are you managing? What are you in charge of? You call yourself the CEO, the president, the founder. You can call yourself whatever you want to because you don't have a boss. But neither do you have employees. So what is that? But when you understand that just because it says supervisor or leader or manager or boss or CEO or head chief of all things in the kitchen is irrelevant. What is really relevant as a leader is knowing who you are, knowing that you bring value. You have knowledge and expertise and experience in the field that you're working in. You have the ability to build these connective relationships that cover when you don't have the knowledge. I can tell you there are a lot of things that I dabble in, a lot of things where I do work, where I get paid to do work, where I am not the expert in the field. What I am an expert at is connecting people who are. And that is a requirement as a leader. And if your identity is so wrapped up in your business card that you can't lay down what you think makes you money and find those things that will make you money, you're going to be in trouble. Quick story from when I was in the fire department. 5 years as a firefighter while in the Air Force. I've served as an off-duty or volunteer firefighter off and on since I got out. At one particular station, although I had years of experience on active duty as a firefighter and 20 years seniority just in life, one young man told me straight up, he's like, I don't wash fire trucks, I don't fuel fire trucks, I don't clean toilets in the firehouse. That's not my job. They bring me in here to fight fire. So, oh man, if you think that the toilets need cleaned or the truck needs filled with water, you should take care of that before I come back for the next fire. And I thought to myself, look, if I can't trust you to clean the toilets, why in the world would I trust you with a $100,000 piece of equipment to go fight a fire with? If I can't trust you to fill the truck with water, how do I know you're not going to show up when my house is on fire with a truck that has no water? See, these are leadership issues, and in his own life, his attitude was built around the entitlement factor that my shirt says firefighter, that's all I do. No, you do what needs to be done because that's what leaders do. We've talked about that. Great leaders do what needs to be done, regardless of their job description. And that's what's going to make you relevant as a leader in this shifting and changing economy. When you realize that I will do what it takes, I will do what needs to be done, and it doesn't matter what's in my job description. People do what people see, and you will demonstrate to them the necessity to do what needs to be done. Leaders also pedal on the downhill. So even when it seems like you're coasting and everything is going hunky-dory and you don't have to work really hard in this season, you still work really hard in this season, because as much as you're going downhill, eventually you've got to go back up again. And if you get to the bottom of that hill having coasted, you will get to the top of the next hill much slower because you have no momentum. If you're pedaling on the downhill, you're going to have a whole lot more momentum. You see out the window behind me, you see the city of San Diego, California. This is my first time to visit San Diego, but I can tell you there are a whole lot of bicycles around here, a whole lot of e-bikes, and yesterday I even saw one that had a little one-lung gas-powered motor with a half-tank gas tank on the bicycle itself. And I asked him, how much do you have to pedal? He said, going downhill I can coast, and on flat land it'll do 5 or 10 miles an hour pretty steady. It'll go 70 or 80 miles on that half a tank of gas. I said, well, what about uphill? He said it doesn't have the power to go uphill. Even if it's a little bit of a hill, I have to pedal. I have to do the work. Friends, let me tell you, if you want to become a relevant leader, if you want to remain a relevant leader, what you need to focus on is, what are the things that I need to do to make sure that this project, this task, this gig, this company or organization remains successful? Because really, your legacy, your power to move to the next job, to have the next opportunity, to manage those who decide that the switcheroo is the right idea for them to make more money, is going to be built on the confidence that you do your job well, now and on the uphill. Don't let the identity of the title fool you. And don't feel like when you go into a new organization that just because somebody has the title that they're a leader. Do what you know to do as a leader. Do what has to be done and pedal on the downhill. And you will remain relevant as this economy continues to change more toward a gig-based economy where people feel like a job is for the day and not for a lifetime. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Leadership team. If attitude is going to have a deep impact on your business and bottom line, make it a positive attitude with a positive impact. Visit jlorennorris.com/attitude hack